Before you end up with the person who is truly meant for you, life will take you on a journey that feels uncertain, frustrating, and at times even painful. The waiting period, this phase where you find yourself longing for love, wondering when the right person will come along, is not just about waiting. It's about growing. It's about evolving into the person you need to be before love finds you. Many people believe that love is simply about meeting someone at the right place and time, but that's only part of the equation. The truth is, before you end up with the person who is meant to be in your life, there are things you must experience, lessons you must learn, and growth you must undergo. The universe, or fate, or destiny, however you choose to see it, is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine right now. The loneliness and self-discovery. The waiting period often comes with a deep sense of loneliness. You might look around and see friends in relationships, social media flooded with couples posting about their love, and movies portraying fairy tale romances that seem to happen effortlessly. Meanwhile, you may be sitting alone in your room, wondering when it will finally be your turn. This loneliness can feel unbearable at times, making you question whether love is ever going to come your way. But what you don't realize in those moments is that loneliness is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It is guiding you to a deeper understanding of yourself. When you are alone, you have the opportunity to explore who you truly are. What makes you happy, what you need, what you love, and what you're passionate about. Too often people lose themselves in relationships because they never took the time to truly know themselves first. This phase of waiting is actually a phase of self-discovery. It's when you start to explore new interests, pursue dreams that belong solely to you, and become comfortable with your own company. You learn that you don't need another person to complete you. You are already whole on your own. The doubts and frustration. During this period, doubt will creep in. You might start to think that maybe love isn't meant for you, maybe you're doing something wrong, maybe there's a reason why it hasn't happened yet. You might even start questioning whether your standards are too high, whether you should settle, or whether you should change yourself to fit what someone else might want. These thoughts are normal, but they are not the truth. The truth is that the waiting period is not punishment, it is preparation. If love hasn't entered your life yet, it's not because you're not worthy of it. It's because the right person isn't ready for you yet, or you're not ready for them. The best love stories don't happen when you force them. They happen when you are truly prepared for them. The frustration you feel is a sign that something within you is growing. It is the discomfort that comes before transformation. Instead of seeing it as a burden, recognize it as part of the journey. Growth is never easy, and preparing for a deep, meaningful relationship requires you to become the best version of yourself first. The importance of becoming the right person. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about love is that it's all about finding the right person. In reality, love is just as much about becoming the right person. If you enter a relationship without truly knowing yourself, without healing your wounds, and without working on your personal growth, then even if the perfect person comes along, you may not be ready to receive their love. During this waiting period, life is giving you the opportunity to work on yourself. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect before love arrives. No one is ever perfect. But it does mean that you should use this time to reflect, grow, and work through the things that could potentially sabotage a future relationship. Ask yourself, are you emotionally available? Have you healed from past relationships, or are you still carrying old wounds? Do you know what you want, not just in a partner, but in life? Are you happy with yourself, or are you hoping someone else will make you happy? These are the kinds of questions you need to explore. The more you grow as a person, the better your future relationship will be. Because when you finally meet the right person, they should complement your life, not be the reason for your happiness. The universe is preparing you. It may not feel like it now, but everything is happening exactly as it should. The moments of waiting, the experiences of loneliness, the days of frustration, all of it is part of a bigger plan. You are being shaped and prepared for a love that is worth the wait. Think about it. Would you rather rush into something temporary, something that only brings short-term happiness? Or would you rather wait for something real, something that will last? Too often, people settle because they are tired of waiting. Instead of seeing the waiting period as wasted time, see it as valuable time. This is the time when you are becoming the person who will one day be in a healthy, fulfilling relationship. The right love requires two whole people, not two people looking for someone else to complete them. Enjoy this season of your life. It's easy to focus so much on finding love that you forget to live your life. But this chapter, this time before you meet the right person, is just as important as the relationship itself. Use this time to travel, to learn new skills, to chase your dreams, to build strong friendships, and to fall in love with life itself. The best relationships happen when two people have full, meaningful lives on their own, and then choose to share that happiness with each other. When you eventually meet the right person, you don't want to look back and regret that you wasted years feeling incomplete. You want to be able to say that you lived fully, that you grew into the best version of yourself, and that when love finally arrived, you were truly ready for it. Final thoughts. Waiting for the right person is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The journey of self-discovery, the moments of loneliness, the doubts, the frustrations, all of these are shaping you into the person you need to be. Love is not just about finding someone, it's about becoming the right person for the relationship you truly deserve. So embrace this season of your life. Trust the timing of the universe. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep believing that when the right person comes, everything will fall into place. And when that day arrives, you will look back and realize that the waiting was never a delay. It was always part of the plan. Along the journey of finding the right person, there will be moments that test you in ways you never expected. These moments often come in the form of relationships that don't work out, heartbreaks that leave you feeling shattered, and experiences that make you question everything. It may feel unfair, like you're constantly being let down by love, but what you may not realize in the moment is that these experiences are necessary. Every failed relationship, every disappointment, and every heartbreak is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for the love that is meant to stay. One of the hardest lessons to learn in life is that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people come into your life to teach you something, to show you what you need, what you deserve, or even what you should never accept. They may seem like they are the right person at first, making you believe that the search is over. You might feel an intense connection, a pull toward them that makes you think, this has to be it. But then something shifts. The illusion fades. The relationship starts to fall apart, sometimes suddenly, sometimes slowly over time. And when it ends, you are left wondering, why? It's painful to invest your time, energy, and emotions into someone, only to realize they weren't meant to be your forever. The pain of loss can feel unbearable, making you question whether love is even worth the risk. But every heartbreak carries a hidden gift: wisdom. It may not seem like it when you're in the middle of the pain, but once you gain distance from it, you start to see the lesson it was meant to teach you. Maybe it showed you the importance of communication. Maybe it made you realize you need someone who is emotionally available. Maybe it forced you to confront your own insecurities and heal the wounds you were carrying long before that person came into your life. Many times, people enter relationships without truly understanding themselves, hoping that love will fix them or fill an emptiness inside them. They cling to relationships that aren't right because they fear being alone or because they've convinced themselves that this is the best they can do. But love should never be something that feels forced. It should never be something that leaves you feeling anxious, insecure, or unworthy. There will be people who make you believe in love again, only to disappoint you. There will be people who say all the right things, only to act in ways that contradict their words. There will be people who make promises and then break them. There will be people who leave without an explanation, ghosting you as if you never mattered. And all of these experiences will hurt, but they will also teach you what love is not. Love is not inconsistency. Love is not someone who plays games with your emotions, who gives you just enough attention to keep you holding on but never fully commits. Love is not feeling like you have to earn someone's affection, as if your worth is dependent on how much they want you. Love is not someone who disappears when things get tough, who avoids communication, who leaves you feeling confused and uncertain. The more you go through these painful experiences, the more you start to recognize patterns. You start to see the red flags you once ignored. You start to realize that attraction alone is not enough, that chemistry does not equal compatibility, that just because someone makes your heart race doesn't mean they are meant to stay in your life. You begin to understand that love is not just about how someone makes you feel in the beginning, but how they choose to show up for you over time. It is not easy to let go of people you once thought would be in your life forever, but sometimes letting go is the greatest act of self-love you can give yourself. Holding on to someone who is not right for you only delays the arrival of the person who is. It is painful to walk away from something familiar, but what is familiar is not always what is best for you. Heartbreak changes you. It forces you to grow. Love is not meant to be easy. It is meant to challenge you, to force you to confront parts of yourself that you might not have noticed otherwise. Every time you love and lose, you are getting closer to the person who is truly meant for you. You are learning how to love better, how to choose better, how to stand up for what you deserve. You are refining your standards, gaining clarity on what truly matters to you. It is easy to become bitter after experiencing pain, to build walls so high that no one can get through. But the goal is not to shut yourself off from love. The goal is to become wiser about who you give your heart to recognize that love should be a source of peace, not chaos, to understand that you do not have to fight for love that is meant for you. It will find you, it will choose you, and it will stay. Some people will hurt you deeply, but they will also teach you the most valuable lessons. They will show you what you don't want, what you won't tolerate, what you need to walk away from. They will prepare you for the person who will love you the way you have always deserved. And when that person finally arrives, you will look back at all the pain, all the heartbreaks, all the lessons, and realize that they were necessary. Every failed relationship, every rejection, every disappointment, it is all leading you to the love that is truly meant for you. And when that love comes, you will understand why nothing before it ever worked out. You will realize that the heartbreaks were not wasted time. They were preparing you for something real, something lasting. Before you end up with the right person, you will go through a process of transformation. This transformation is not always easy. In fact, it often comes with pain, discomfort, and a deep sense of self-reflection. It requires you to shed old versions of yourself, to let go of limiting beliefs, and to heal from the wounds that have been holding you back. This stage is about preparation, becoming the person who is truly ready to receive and give love in the healthiest way possible. At first, you may not even realize that you need to change. You may think that you are already ready for love, that you have done enough inner work, and that you just need to meet the right person. But life has a way of showing you that love requires growth. The universe, fate, or whatever force you believe in will put you in situations that challenge you, that force you to confront your insecurities and push you to evolve. You might notice that certain patterns keep repeating in your relationships. Maybe you keep attracting the same kind of emotionally unavailable people. Maybe you find yourself getting into relationships that start off strong but then slowly fall apart. Maybe you realize that you struggle with trust, that you tend to sabotage relationships, or that you have fears that hold you back from fully opening up. These patterns are not coincidences. They are signals that there is something within you that needs to be addressed before you can have the relationship you truly deserve. Healing is one of the most important parts of this transformation. It requires you to look inward and face the wounds you have been avoiding. Maybe you have been carrying pain from past relationships, moments where you were betrayed, abandoned, or made to feel unworthy. Maybe your childhood experiences shape the way you see love, making you believe that love is something you have to earn, or that it always comes with pain. Whatever it is, healing means recognizing these wounds, understanding how they affect you, and working through them so they no longer control your relationships. One of the biggest aspects of transformation is learning to love yourself fully. It's easy to say, "I love myself," but true self-love goes beyond words. It means accepting yourself completely, the good, the bad, and everything in between. It means not settling for relationships that do not align with your worth. It means setting boundaries, knowing your standards, and not compromising just to have someone by your side. For many people, self-love is one of the hardest things to achieve because society often teaches us to seek validation from others. We are conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to whether or not someone chooses us, whether we are in a relationship, or whether we are desirable to others. But true love, the kind that is lasting and fulfilling, can only happen when you first love yourself completely. When you stop looking for someone else to fill the gaps in your heart and instead learn to feel whole on your own, that is when you become truly ready for love. During this period of transformation, you will also learn patience. It is natural to want love to happen quickly, to want things to fall into place right away. But real love does not operate on your timeline. It comes when it is meant to, and often the waiting period is where the most growth happens. You may feel frustrated at times, wondering why it hasn't happened yet, but what you don't realize is that this time is necessary. You are being prepared for something better, something that will be worth the wait. This is also a time to focus on your personal growth. Instead of making love your only goal, use this time to invest in yourself. Chase your dreams, develop your passions, build a life that excites you. The right relationship will never take away from your life, it will add to it. But first you have to create a life that you genuinely love, independent of whether or not you are in a relationship. You will start to notice that your mindset around love begins to shift. Instead of chasing after people who do not value you, you will start to naturally walk away from them. Instead of settling for relationships that drain you, you will begin to choose peace. Instead of needing someone to complete you, you will realize that you are already whole. This transformation is not about changing who you are. It's about becoming the best, most authentic version of yourself. As you go through this process, some people may not understand your journey. Some may question why you are still single, why you are being so selective, or why you are focused on personal growth instead of rushing into a relationship. But you must remember that this journey is yours alone. The right person will not be intimidated by your growth. They will admire it. They will not be put off by your self-love. They will be drawn to it. This transformation is not just about preparing you for love. It is about preparing you for life. The skills you develop during this period, self-awareness, emotional resilience, confidence, will serve you in every area of your life, not just in relationships. You will become someone who is strong, secure, and capable of handling whatever life throws your way. When you finally do meet the right person, you will be able to recognize them because you have done the inner work. You will not settle for temporary connections or relationships that drain you. You will not fall for the same patterns that once hurt you. You will have a deep understanding of yourself, of what you need, and of what real love looks like. This transformation is not always easy, and at times it may feel lonely, but the person you are becoming in the process is exactly the person who is meant to receive the love you have been waiting for. Every step of growth, every moment of healing, every lesson learned is bringing you closer to the relationship that will truly be right for you. Before you finally end up with the right person, the journey will test you in ways you never expected. You will go through heartbreak, growth, moments of doubt and deep self-reflection. But once you arrive at the right love, everything that once felt uncertain will start to make sense. The waiting, the pain, the lessons, all of it was necessary to prepare you for something real. When you finally meet the person who is meant for you, there will be an undeniable sense of peace. Unlike past relationships that left you anxious, overthinking, or questioning your worth, this one will feel different. You won't have to wonder where you stand. You won't have to decode mixed signals or fight for attention. The right person will choose you every single day with clarity and commitment. Love, in its purest form, is not supposed to be complicated. That doesn't mean there won't be challenges. Every relationship requires effort, but the right relationship won't be built on confusion, inconsistency, or emotional exhaustion. It will feel secure, steady, and supportive. Instead of feeling drained by love, you will feel energized by it. Instead of feeling like you have to prove yourself, you will feel fully accepted for who you are. The right person will see you completely, the light and the darkness, the strengths and the insecurities, and they will love you just as you are. They won't try to change you, mold you, or make you feel like you need to become someone else to be worthy of their love. They will appreciate you in ways that past relationships never could. And for the first time, you will realize what it means to be loved fully. This love will bring a sense of safety that you may not have experienced before. It won't be based on the fear of losing each other, but on the deep trust that you are both in this together. You won't feel like you have to constantly impress them or keep them interested. They will be present, consistent, and invested in the relationship as much as you are. There will be no power struggles, no need to manipulate emotions, no fear of abandonment. Instead, love will be a safe place, a source of strength rather than stress. When you end up with the right person, you will understand why nothing before it worked out. The heartbreaks, the disappointments, and the relationships that felt so promising but ultimately failed, they all served a purpose. They taught you what you needed to know, shaped you into who you are, and prepared you to appreciate the love that is truly meant for you. You will no longer look back on your past with bitterness, but with gratitude. The people who hurt you, the ones who left, the ones who couldn't love you the way you deserved, they were all part of the journey. They helped you refine your standards, recognize your worth, and understand what real love should feel like. In this relationship, you will experience a new kind of happiness, one that isn't based on fleeting excitement, but on deep emotional connection. You will laugh together, grow together, and build a life that feels meaningful. The love you share will not just be about passion, but about partnership, It will be about supporting each other's dreams, lifting each other up, and being each other's safe haven in a world that can often feel chaotic. This love will challenge you, but in the best way possible. It will push you to grow, to become the best version of yourself, not out of insecurity, but out of inspiration. The right person will encourage your ambitions, celebrate your achievements, and stand by your side through every high and low. You will no longer feel like you are walking through life alone. You will have someone who truly understands you, who sees your potential, and who believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. You will also learn that real love is not about perfection. The right person will not be flawless, and neither will you. There will be disagreements, moments of frustration, and challenges to overcome. But unlike past relationships where conflict felt like a threat, in this relationship, it will feel like an opportunity to grow together. You will communicate openly, resolve problems with mutual respect, and choose each other even when things get difficult. The relationship will feel like home, not because it's without struggles, but because it's built on a foundation of trust, respect, and unwavering commitment. You will no longer feel like you have to fight for someone's love. Instead, you will be in a relationship where love is given freely and wholeheartedly. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about ending up with the right person is that they will love you in ways you never knew you needed. They will notice the little things about you, the quirks and habits that make you unique. They will remember the details, the things that make you happy, and the dreams you once mentioned in passing. They will love you in a way that feels effortless, yet intentional. This love will not just change your relationship status, it will change your entire outlook on life. You will wake up feeling grateful, knowing that you are loved deeply, sincerely, and unconditionally. The fears you once had about love, whether you were enough, whether you would ever find someone who truly understood you, will fade away, replaced by the security of knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. And when you look back at your journey, you will see that every experience, every lesson, every moment of heartbreak was necessary, because if you hadn't gone through them, you wouldn't have been able to recognize and appreciate the love that was meant for you. Everything happened in its own time, in its own way, to bring you here to the love that was always meant to be yours.